Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and on this video tonight there is lots to currently negotiate about. I am going to be talking with you more about Ole Gunnar Solsjaker. Also, going to be giving you the latest news regarding Jadon Sancho, and there's lots of other things to currently talk about. But I'll delve into the Jadon Sancho topic a bit later on in the video. So I am going to start with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So do you feel as though that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, should be given another season at Manchester United? Now, of course, Manchester United fans have got different perceptions on it, like I mentioned on one of my recent videos. Some United fans, would be happy for him, to get given another season, and some United fans, would like to see Solskjaer go in the summer, and they would like us to, they would like, to see us either recommend Mauricio Pochettino in as his replacement or Massimiliano Allegri. Don't forget, it is a transition period, and like Solskjaer did reveal at the beginning of the year, he's hopeful that Manchester United can get through this transition period, and Solskjaer is aware that he has got many expectations to exceed. Now, of course, Solskjaer has been at Manchester United now for around 14 months, so he has been at the football club just over a year, and a lot of people do feel as though that he's had long enough at the football club, but not every manager settles in straight away. Like I mentioned, Ferguson didn't win out in his first 4 years when he got recommended into Manchester United, but look what he went and accomplished after, that 4 years without winning nothing. Jurgen Klopp, he's another one. He's an unbelievable manager now, is Jurgen Klopp. He's emulated that level, but again, didn't settle in straight away. So some managers, maybe do need time. But I just feel as though, from my own perception, Solskjaer will not emulate into the next Jurgen Klopp, and he definitely, won't invoke Ferguson's legacy at the football club. I can definitely assure that. But, looking at it, Solskjaer is still in the process of rebuilding this Manchester United team. I know he's enjoyed 3 transfer windows so far, and, he spent 220 million at the club, and that is a substantial amount, 220 million pounds. Of course, taking into account we spent 400 under Mourinho, 258 under Louis van Gaal, just 67 million under David Moyes. So that adds up to is it nearly £1 billion recruiting new players in the last 6 or 7 years. Last summer, Solskjaer brought Daniel James in for 15 million. He brought Anwan Bissaka in for £50 million. And he brought Harry Maguire in for £80 million. And obviously in January he brought Bruno Fernandes in, who's enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career. And he also brought Odion Ighalo in on loan until the end of the season. But I'm very sceptical that Manchester United, will make his transfer, permanent and that. So he has recruited 5 new players in. Of course, also a lot of players have left since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's arrival, and Solskjaer has confirmed, more players will leave the football club in the summer and that. So some people believe that Solskjaer, maybe deserves at least one more transfer window to see who else he can recommend in to the football club. Now, I believe that Manchester United are around 3 to 4 signings away from becoming competitive and being title contenders and that, because there's still deficiencies in the squad that need to be addressed. I think Manchester United need 2 strikers, or at least 1. We also need a right winger. We also need a left back. I think we also need a centre half, and we do need a couple of midfielders. I think Manchester United can get Champions League football secured for next season. We are now sitting 5th in the Premier League, and we are only 3 points behind Chelsea. And it just shows you, doesn't it? We've been so inconsistent this season. We've enjoyed our worst start ever to a Premier League season, yet we can still get that top 4. So that just indicates how many teams have been so poor in the Premier League this season. Just indicates, that out basically, doesn't it? Since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got the job permanently, his record has been disastrous at Manchester United. Let's take that into account. On the other hand, against Chelsea, his record's been absolutely sublime, because he has beaten Frank Lampard 3 times as a manager as Solskjaer, and beaten them 4 times in total, since he got recommended into Manchester United. So that's a positive. Like I mentioned, he did really, really well when he was the interim manager in that 3-month period. I think Man United did make a mistake by giving Solskjaer the job on a permanent basis. The main explanation why we're giving the job permanently is reflecting on what he did when he was the interim manager. but analysing it, anyway, Solskjaer was very, very lucky to get the Manchester United job in the first place as the interim manager and that. Man United have made a lot of mistakes in the last, 6 or 7 years or so, and it's not only the explanation, but it's one of the main explanations why Manchester United have been so inconsistent this season. It's the main explanation that, because look at the mistakes we've made. I think there's players that we've brought in over the years that we shouldn't have got rid of. Prime example, we got rid of Romelu Lukaku. I don't think we should have ever got rid of him. Looking at it from a financial point of view, though, we did generate, a good amount for his departure. We got 70-odd million, but he had to go because he lost his place in the team, did Lukaku. We made a mistake by getting rid of Ander Herrera. It infuriated me as well that, we let his contract run down and we let him go on a free transfer. We made the mistake by not getting a director of football in last summer, because I did say that's one of the structural changes that we need at the football club. And if we'd got that director of football in, Ed Woodward then could have moved away from the footballing decisions. Obviously we made a mistake by not recommending Jose Mourinho in after Ferguson's, retirement, because Ferguson endured 26, 27 years at Man United, and Ferguson made the mistake by ever, recommending David Moyes and that. But, maybe Solskjaer should be given time. I know we haven't been so good under him, since he got the job permanently, but, we have had some decent results under him. We've had some big wins, 4-1 against Newcastle, 3-0 against Watford at the weekend. I think the biggest win we've had under Solskjaer was the 5-1 win against Cardiff. That was his first game. So we've had some pretty decent results under Solskjaer, and we've done really, really well against elite opposition, but we haven't seemed to replicate this against lower opposition. That's been one of the problems at Manchester United and that. But, Solskjaer is inexperienced as a manager. Let's not, hide that away. He's inexperienced as a manager, just like Frank Lampard is at Chelsea. Man United is the third club he's managing in his managerial career, because before he was at Man United, he was at Mould. Before he was at Mould, he was at Cardiff. And also his record at Cardiff was also disastrous as well. His record at Cardiff, was so bad, was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, let's, take that into account and that. But like I said, there's not only problems with management at the football club, there's various issues at the club that do need to be addressed, there's not only problems with the management, there's been problems the way the football club's been run for several years. There's also, problems with the club's ownership. There's problems with Ed Woodward. The Glazers have been generating a lot of money out of this club since they took over in 2005. And, there's also a lot of problems with the board, because they've been a liability for several years, reflecting on their poor recruitment and that. But, a good couple of results or whatever players we bring in doesn't change my perceptions on Solskjaer. I don't think he's a long-term solution for Manchester United. And if we did decide to sack him any time within this 2.5 years left he's got on his contract, I think we'd only have to pay around £5 million to get rid of him anywhere. He was a great player for the football club for 11 years under Alex Ferguson's guidance, but I just feel as though as a manager, he is totally comparison. In some games, he's tactically got it right, but in the vast majority of his games, he's been tactically inept. So that's one of my element of concerns about Solskjaer. I thought he got it spot on against Watford at the weekend. I credit him for that. I think the things that I did get right against Watford, to start with, he axed Lingard and Jesse Lingard from the squad. He axed Lingard and Pereira from the squad, said his name twice then. That was the right decision to do, because, they are two liabilities for Manchester United. He did revert back to the 4-2-3-1 formation against Watford. I have, got element of concerns about that formation, because I don't think it seems to suit our standards. People will have different perceptions on it. I think we look more expansive with the 3-5-2, if, that's my own perception on that. He also put Luke Shaw back at left back, in the two previous games before Watford, he were playing Luke Shaw at centre-half, and Luke Shaw's not predominantly centre-half. He also, give Mason Greenwood an opportunity. That was a surprise decision by Solskjaer, because Mason Greenwood seldom starts in the Premier League. Daniel James, a lot of people are saying he needed a rest, but, he played. Hasn't been so good in the last month, but I thought against Watford he did really, really well. And I thought, he definitely got it right against Watford. We had 21 shots in the game against Watford, and we had 9 on target. And that was a surprise as well in that aspect, because Man United have been struggling to create chances this season. This indicates out why we've been struggling to score goals. But it was very, very clinical against Watford, to be fair. And, taking into account as well, Man United have got injuries. Some players have just recently come back. McTominay's just come back, which is very, very good news. He's been out with an knee injury. Bay's just recently come back. He did really, really well on his return to the Premier League against Chelsea. Very, very good centre-half is Eric Bay, just too injury-prone. Obviously, he's just come back from injury. Mason Greenwood's just come back from illness. Of course, Marcus Rashford is out for at least the next couple of months, like Solsjaker confirmed. Could be out for the rest of the season, could Marcus Rashford. And may not even play in the Euros. Marcus Rashford, Solskjaer's also confirmed that if he's not fully fit. Rashford's been one of our best players this season. Of course, Pogba's out. The earliest we are looking at Paul Pogba being back is for the Manchester derby on the 8th of March. I know Solskjaer recently revealed that Pogba may never ever play again for Manchester United. He may never play again for Manchester United. But I think he'll play again, before he does leave the football club. And he isn't close to returning because he has been out with an ankle injury. I think it's like over a month ago now since he had the surgery on his ankle. He did say that, he could decide to stay and extend his contract if Solskjaer is to go. That was in the Daily Express. But I don't think, he'll stay. I think he'll end up leaving the club in the summer. We want 150 million. Real Madrid only value him at £50 million. That's 3 times less, than what we want for him, and £39 million less than what we paid for Paul Pogba. So if he leaves in the summer, he'll either go to Real Madrid or Juventus. I think his preference is a return to Turin, because Pogba did enjoy 4 good years in Turin and that. But, we can let Paul Pogba go, if we can get Grealish in and we can get Maddison in, they're also our targets for the summer. So, we will currently see. Pogba, by the way, now is into the final year of his contract with Man United, and the club do have an option to extend his contract by a further year. I think Tuan Zebe is still out with injury, but he's stepping up his fitness regime, and so too is Fosu Mensah. So players are now coming back from injury and that. But injuries is not excusable for how inconsistent we've been this season. Obviously, the other teams that have had injuries, though, it's also affected them, except Liverpool. Tottenham have got Kane and Heung-min Son out there struggling without them too. Chelsea have had injuries, they've been struggling. Man City have had Sane out for the vast majority of this season. They've obviously got Sterling out now. The positive for City is, though, Laporte's just come back and that. So when you get injuries in your team, it can really have a bad effect on you. And it's really, really done this with Manchester United. Very, very good win it was against Watford, though. I said before the game, didn't I? I wasn't taking it for granted, because Watford are no pushovers. They've slightly improved under Nigel Pearson, but they are facing a relegation battle. It was good to see Bruno Fernandes scoring his first goal for Manchester United, also getting an assist in the game. Bruno Fernandes is predominantly number 10, and as long as we keep in that position, we'll see the best of him. Very instrumental, decision making good, and makes a difference in that team. Now I think Bruno Fernandes is key to Solskjaer, Solskjaer's rebuilding process is very, very key, is Bruno Fernandes. But he had a fantastic game against Watford. He's got 2 assists now. He also got an assist for Harry Maguire's goal against Chelsea. But he's enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career. Also, too, Martial's in really, really good form. 3 goals in his last 3 games for the club. Solskjaer's come out and still said there's still maybe some aspects of his game that do need to improve. Martial has been operating in that number 9 role this season, even though he predominantly plays on the left. I think when we do start Odi Nagalo, we'll probably put Anthony Martial back on the left-hand side. Well, depending on, what formation, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, does go with. Martial has rejuvenated himself, because I thought earlier on recently, before the 3 games, he was in really, really bad form, but he was injured earlier on this season. His second goal was world-class Martial's. Should have really scored from the first effort, but then he retrieved it, and it was an absolutely sublime chip. And, the 3rd goal was for Mason Greenwood. That's his 5th goal in the Premier League this season for Man United. And he's also another attacking option, is Mason Greenwood. You can put him on the right, and you can also put him in the number 9 and that. Very, very good win. Back-to-back Premier League wins now for Man United. We've kept 3 clean sheets in our last 3 Premier League games. And like I mentioned, we are now in that top 4 race. Top 4, we need to get that top 4. We can finish 5th because, betting on, Manchester City have been banned from the Champions League for the next 2 seasons. So I think we can definitely, get 5th. But it was a very, very good result against Watford, and hopefully, we can continue getting wins in the Premier League Everton's going to be a tough game on Sunday. The preview will be coming up for that later on in the week. You know, like I mentioned, Everton did lose to Arsenal 3-2, and I think that's only their second defeat under Ancelotti. Everton look a much better team under Carlo Ancelotti, and they've also got a lot of good attacking players. You know, so that's going to be a tough game. But we're focusing on the game this Thursday night against Club Brugge in the Europa League last 32 second leg. I think we'll beat Club Brugge in the second leg. It will be totally comparison to the first leg. You know, Solsjaker got a lot of things wrong in the first leg. You know, the result was good because we got the away goal through Martial, but the rest of it, you know, it was negative. The performance was poor. You know, Solskjaer, you know, played Lingard and Pereira, who he shouldn't have started them. He put Luke Shaw centre half. Obviously, he rested Daniel James and Bissaka. He also, you know, didn't start Fernandes or Fred. So that was a mistake, you know, Solskjaer made, but they did come on as substitutions. Club Brugge are not good in Europe. They're good in the Belgian league because, you know, they are sitting top and that. But yeah, he won't take any risks in the second leg, will Solskjaer. Maybe he'll, with Everton on the horizon, maybe he will rest a couple of key players, but the Europa League's a priority for us. It is a chance of getting silverware on the board this season. Plus, it's another route to Champions League football for Manchester United and that. So, you know, but the Europa League is a chance for us, you know, to give the youngsters, you know, more opportunities. Chong could get given a chance. So too could Angel Gomez. Obviously, you know, they've recently played an under-19s game in Belgium. That's why they wasn't involved in the first team, you know, against Club Brugge. Solskjaer is uncertain about, you know, Chon and Gomez's future at Manchester United and that. Yeah, so games are coming up thick and fast, and, you know, it's a busy period for us, and, you know, we are going to be making a lot of rotation, like, you know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you know, was saying and that. But I think, you know, we'll beat Club Brugge in the second leg, definitely. Yes, definitely in that we will. And yeah, so overall last week was a very, very good week for Manchester United and that. And I think we get the right players in the summer. We can challenge possibly next season. You know, City is dual strides ahead of us at the moment, and Liverpool are strides ahead of us. So take that into account and that. But, you know, City and Liverpool are going to continue rebuilding, you know, so they get even stronger than they are now. And especially, you know, Liverpool will do that. So, yeah. Jadon Sancho, I'll give you the latest news now regarding him. Reportedly, Duncan Castles has come out, who tends to be reliable, and he's also very close to Manchester United. He's come out and said, as Duncan Castles, he's given us an update on Jadon Sancho's future, and he says, you know, reflecting on the development of Chelsea and Liverpool, Old Trafford is the only option for Jadon Sancho this summer. Now, we've been relentlessly linked with him. Reportedly, Sky in Germany did confirm that, you know, he's likely to leave Borussia Dortmund this summer. Borussia Dortmund, though, have quoted out that they want around £100 million at least for the player. Or maybe he may even cost us £120 million, will Jadon Sancho. I don't see how he'd fit in Liverpool's team system anyway. He won't fit Liverpool's system. Do you think he'd fit Chelsea's system and that? Maybe we need to get qualification for the Champions League, you know, to get Jadon Sancho on the board anywhere. So this is what, you know, Duncan Castles has come out and said. But we have been relentlessly linked with him. I think he would be the right calibre player for Manchester United. He'd look good alongside the likes of James, Martial, Rashford, Fernandes and all that, you know, in our attacking line. I'd love him at Manchester United. And he's enjoyed a very difficult season this season with Borussia Dortmund as Sancho. He's been dropped in a lot of games, but I think in his two previous seasons, you know, he's done really, really well. He's been a revelation, mainly since he's gone to Germany. Obviously, he's a former Manchester City player, is Jadon Sancho, is only at the age of 19. Reports come out the other week saying that, you know, we was willing to offer Jadon Sancho a contract worth around £200,000 a week. So that's the latest news regarding him. I gave you the news, didn't I, regarding Moussa Dembele earlier on. If Man United have got any chances of getting him in the summer, we're going to have to pay around 83 or 84 million pounds for Moussa Dembele. But, you know, obviously we're seeing him as an adequate replacement for Romelu Lukaku, you know, Moussa Dembele. We've been quite about his availability before, you know, Moussa Dembele. You know, he's done pretty well for Lyon in France. Also was good at Celtic before he was at Lyon. You know, he's played in the Premier League before with Fulham, where he actually, you know, began his senior career. I think he's still got around 3 years left on his contract with Lyon. Don't forget also Chelsea have expressed their interest in the player. So he's another target for Man United. Obviously Grealish and Maddison are on our agenda. So just say, for prime example, we were to get them 4 players in the summer, that would cost Manchester United probably over £300 million. I heard the other week that Solsjaker is going to get around £274 million to spend this summer on recommending, more additions to the squad. This is, what I did but some of the players that leave in the summer anywhere, we're going to generate, some money for their departures and that. Yes, Manchester United are going to generate some money for their departures. Yes, we're going to generate some money from their departures and that. But I've already said to you, I think the players that need to go, Jones needs to be moved on. Doesn't play enough. Matic, he's done well recently, but I still think he's a liability. Pereira and Lingard definitely need to be moved on. Possibly Luke Shaw needs to be moved on because Brandon Williams now is our first choice left back. So yeah, these still players that need to go. Probably Chon and Gomez need to go because they don't get in the team enough. So yeah, more players do need to leave Manchester United in the summer and that. The preview for the Club Brugge game will be coming up tomorrow sometime. So join me for then. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.